I recently saw an ad on Marketplace for a Mapex drum kit with some high-end cymbals, and I decided to drop the seller a message. Early the next morning, I awoke to a message confirming the drum kit's availability and arranged to go and view it that very same evening. But as you may have seen from the thumbnail, I got a little more than I bargained for, both in a good way and in not such a good way. This is the story of the Mapex of Ogmore Vale. As well as showing you around everything I got with this deal and selling it in the hope of making a profit, I'm still not sure if it was worth it. I'll also be doing some recording with those nice Sabian cymbals, although there is an issue there which I'll talk about. And I'll also explain that child's drum kit that you can see and take a closer look at the mountain of hardware and all the other bits that were included in the deal. Let's start with that red Mapex kit, which is sitting at the back with only some of it being in cases. And I'm not going to spend too much time on the kit itself or play it, as it's not the most interesting part of the find. I really just wanted to give it a quick polish, take a few pictures and list it on Marketplace with the hope of selling it as a 3-piece shell pack for £50 to £60 within a few days. It was in reasonable condition after all, with the black hoops, mic port and decent, if not somewhat worn, skins. Once it was listed, I could move on to the hardware. Starting off from the left, we've got a Gibraltar double pedal. It is a little bit rough, but I reckon with a decent clean, I think it'll come up okay. Probably what, 50 quid maybe to somebody? I don't think it's too bad. There's not actually that much wear in it side to side, but it just needs a good old clean, so we'll sort that out before it goes. Next up, we've got a Mapex hi-hat stand with something that I've never ever seen in my entire life. This appears to be a sort of donut thing that you can put your cymbals on. Got a clutch with it, looks all good, seems to work okay. Gotta be, what, 20 quid, 25 quid to somebody, I think. Next up, we've got a Sonar snare drum stand. Doesn't look too bad at all. I like the feet on this one, they're very cool. The couple of the wing nuts look like they've been changed, though. That looks like a pearl one, but that's absolutely fine. Again, what, 20 quid or something? Not too bad. Then moving on, we've got a fairly cheap boom stand. Then we've got another Sonar stand here, but a boom cymbal stand. Then we've got another cheap stand, another cheap boom stand here. Then down on the floor here, there's a little drum clamp. Again, what, a tenner? 15 quid? Probably a tenner really on Marketplace. Then there's another double braced Sonar stand, though this time it's a straight. Then we've got finally a Mapex straight stand as well, although again it looks like some bits have been changed there. That's a pearl wing nut again. And then finally, this is the best bit really, we've got this Natal pedal, which the guy told me was actually only about 3 months old. The one thing I did notice, which I'll show you in a second, look at that, it's like brand new, is that the connecting rod, or the drive shaft as Pearl call it, that's right, it's got a Pearl drive shaft rather than a Natal one, so I don't know what's happened there. It's got to be 120 quid, hasn't it? So we have 2 double bass drum pedals and 7 stands. Need to work out exactly what I'm going to get out of it, but I think I'm going to list it all on Marketplace now. There's no point in setting it all up. Let's just try and get rid of it, create some space, because there's just too many drums in the house at the moment. Okay, well I think that's all the stuff listed that I'm going to put on Marketplace. I think I'm also going to put the Natal pedal on eBay because I think it's more likely to sell and more likely that I'll get decent money for it. I've put it up for 130 and I just don't see anyone on Marketplace paying that, but I think somebody on eBay probably would. Oh, I just realised I didn't put the stall on Marketplace. Chuck it up 15 quid, see what happens. So how and why did I end up with a children's drum kit? Well, when I arrived at the guy's house, who was very nice by the way, he told me that he'd bought it in case he ever taught any younger children, but it ended up basically sitting in the garage as it was never needed, and it had just been gathering dust ever since. He offered to me that I could take it free of charge, and that if I didn't, it would be going in the bin, and being the sentimental person that I am, I couldn't let it get thrown away, thinking that if I cleaned it up, listed it for 20 quid and it could start somebody off on their journey, then it would just be an all-round good thing, and it would also contribute towards my fuel bill and the KFC that I'd eaten on my way there. Don't want to spend long on this though. Oops, haven't really got the time. It's not a great job, but it's better than nothing. This was all quite a good plan until I came to set up the hi-hat stand back home and noticed the lack of a spring inside it. No spring in it. And then I realised that the tiny snare drum stand that's very specific to this kit was missing. Okay, I got lots of cool cymbals to show you. Let's have a look what I got with the Mapex kit, shall we? So the first one here, I didn't actually know was with the listing. When I got to the guy's house, he said, oh, by the way, there's a China in that bag as well. And when I took it out, it was a Peisty PST3. Looks to be in reasonable condition, not too bad. About as good as a second-hand China cymbal that's slightly budget is ever going to be. But no, not too bad. Not sure, what do you reckon, 40 quid maybe? Now we have a pair of hi-hats, 14-inch stage hats, Sabian AAX, and they've even got a little sticker. I always like to see a sticker, just tells me a bit of history. If they've got the barcode on, things like that, tells me that they probably haven't been played too much. But there we go, some 14-inch hi-hats there. Then we have another Sabian AAX, this time an Explosion Crash. All looks to be in good condition, and this one has the trusty barcode on the bottom which says 16-inch Explosion Crash. I don't think it says the price, which is a shame. I always like it when there's a price on there, like I had recently with a set of Zildjian Ks, which you may have seen on the channel. Still got the price, $475. Amazing. They look mint as well. But yeah, nice cymbal there, 16, not too thick actually. I was expecting that to be quite kind of heavy being an Explosion Crash, but actually not a bad cymbal. So again, very light clean, and I think we'll put that for sale. Logos are in good condition. And next, unfortunately, we do have the bad news of the collection, and that is this. And unfortunately, this is the first thing I noticed when I pulled out the bag. Bit of spidering going on around the bell there, so not brilliant, but still has the barcode, just showing that what I just said means absolutely nothing. It's a shame really. This would have been a nice cymbal, again not too thick. I like a bit of flex in a cymbal, and yeah, I reckon it's probably been tightened too much. So if you're putting a nice crash cymbal, or indeed any crash cymbal on a stand, make sure that you don't over tighten the wing nut, because you will more than likely get spidering around the bell. Before we look at the rest of the cymbals, I wanted to give you a very brief history on Sabian themselves and the specific models that we're looking at here. The Sabian cymbals brand was first launched in 1982, and it wasn't until 93 that the AAX range was born. The AAX was aimed at being a more modern sounding alternative to the already popular AA range. The AAX Explosion variant wasn't launched until the new millennium, with the HHX range introduced shortly afterwards in 2001. The HH part of the name referring to the hand hammering technique used during the manufacturing process, and with, I assume, as in the automotive world, the X standing for experimental, because dropping the E is always cool. The AAX stage hats I have here seem to have been discontinued altogether from Sabian's lineup, and as a side note, one of my all-time favourite drummers, the great Jojo Mayer, is a long-time Sabian artist, along with Billy Cobham, Brittany Bauman and many, many more. Then we have another Sabian AAX, which is a larger crash than 18. This is in good condition. Of course, when I noticed that 15-inch crash was cracked, I did have a really, really good look at the rest of them, because you never know if somebody's cracked one cymbal that they might have cracked the others. But I reckon actually that the reinforcement around the bell here has probably saved these. They actually look really good around the belt on the rest of the cymbals. So maybe he bought them at a different time, maybe he didn't hit them as hard, maybe the little 15 just didn't take the punishment that these did, but they all look really good. There's no chips, dents, cracks, keyholing on any of these, and yeah, again, just a very light clean, and they'll be up for sale, I think. Now we've got one more cymbal. This is the creme de la creme of cymbals of this collection. This is a 20-inch Sabian HHX ride cymbal, and these are quite expensive actually. I had a look online, and this was the main reason that I actually went and got the kit in the first place. I'm still not sure if it was worth it. I paid $5.50 for everything, and I probably had 50 quid of fuel, although I did go in my fun car and not the Jazz. But I'm probably £600 in, including the KFC that I stopped and bought from Cardiff Services. But I don't know, I mean, I think if I could get £200 out of this, I think I'd be doing well from then on, because then we've got, what, 2 nice crashes, the hi-hats, the China, and this. And then we've got 7 stands, a drum stool, 2 double bass drum pedals, a Sonar snare drum, cheap Mapex kit, a few cases. You know, it's going to be a little bit of a piecemeal, I think, but I'd like to think I could get £1,000 out of the lot. That would be great. If I can get £1,000 out of it, I'm doing okay. 400 quid. I haven't spent that long sorting it all out. Just a bit of cleaning on the odd cymbals, and I think we're good to go. So we'll see, but I am kind of not sure on this one if I've maybe paid a little bit too much. It's currently Saturday morning and the video that you're watching right now needs to come out on Monday afternoon, and I still haven't sold all of the cymbals. In fact, I'm quite a way off selling all the cymbals. So last night, fortunately, I did manage to sell one of the crash cymbals. I sold the 18-inch crash, which went for 125 quid, which I don't think is too bad, but I've still got the HHX ride cymbal, which I've currently got up for £155, which I think is super cheap, but I really need to get rid of it. And also, might I add, it's been listed for 33 days. I did start it at about 200 quid, but nobody's bought it. I've still got the PST3 China, that's up at £30. That's been on there for 33 days. And then I've also got the AAX Explosion 16-inch crash. That's been on there for 5 days. I've got that for 105 quid. I might lower that to 100 quid maybe. And I've got the studio hats as well. They're up at 110. Now, I didn't end up cleaning the cymbals, to be honest. I did say I would, but I ended up not bothering. I really need to get rid of these things over the weekend. By Monday. and really it needs to be by tomorrow, because I'm working in London on Monday, which means I can't film on Monday at all. I can't really edit on Monday. So I need the video finished tomorrow morning, which means really they need to sell today, effectively. I'm gonna sell 4 cymbals today. Well, good morning. It's Monday morning, the day the video is coming out, and I have wet hair because I've just got out of the shower. And I was gonna delay this video going out at all until last night at about 9:30, 10 o'clock, when I had a message from somebody who said, I'll buy all of the Sabian cymbals from you, all of the remaining ones, which was the hi-hats, the 16-inch crash and the HHX ride. Unfortunately, he didn't buy the China, and I still have as well the Natal double kick pedal, and I still have the drum stool, although that's only up for £10, so I'm not massively worried about that. The Natal kick, I've not had any interest in whatsoever. I don't know if it's because of the pearl drive shaft. They were about 250, 260 quid new, and I've now got it up for like £95, and not a single watcher, not a single message, absolutely nothing, no offers, no nothing. So I really am a bit confused on that one. And I think the whole experience of this deal has been that things have just really not fetched the money that I thought they would. So the guy last night, he actually messaged and said, would you do a deal on the 3 remaining cymbals? So, you know, the hi-hats, crash, and the ride. I said to him, you know what, if you want all 3, because of the postage, I could mind the postage a little bit. I said, I'll knock 15 quid off between the 3, so like £5 a cymbal. I know it's not great, but they're already so cheap. So, I won't read you the whole list, I'll put it on screen. I paid £5.50 for the kit, and I have probably £40 to £50 of, as I say, fuel and fried chicken. So, in total, I turned over £971, providing that the other 3 items, all sell for what I want, which is the PST3 China, 35 quid, the Natal double kick, 95 quid, and the drum stool at a tenner. I'm sure I'll sort out the stool, and I'm sure that the China will go. I don't know what I'm going to do with that kick pedal. I'm just so surprised that nobody wanted it, really. But 971. So, it's not quite the £1,000. It's not too far off, considering I've had to lower the prices quite so much. Would I have bought it and driven to Wales and back to make 370 quid? I mean, it's not terrible, but there's been a lot of work to do it. There's a lot of individual items there, and obviously individual items need to be listed and, you know, sold and then packaged and sent and all that individually kind of thing. So, yeah, I would maybe have not bothered. To be honest, it was the cracked cymbal made the difference, I think, partly. And also, I didn't list the Sabians until last week, apart from the HHX, which I mentioned had been up for like 33 days at the time. So I probably would have listed the AAXs earlier on, but I couldn't because I hadn't yet filmed and recorded with them, because I'd been away a lot, been working away in America and stuff. So I just couldn't like put them up until, in case somebody bought them, and then I wouldn't have any recordings of me playing them. And I actually did that with a Sonar snare drum, you might notice. I didn't play the Sonar at all. I didn't even really show it in the studio or anything. And that's because somebody bought it. Basically, I've listed it and thought, oh, I'll play it before it goes, and then somebody bought it. So, but yeah, it's not quite gone as well as I'd hoped. I just saw it online, and there was like, well, there's lots of good stuff within that. I think it'll be worth it, and I thought it'd make a fun video. But if I was just buying it and wasn't making the video, I'd probably be quite disappointed, I think. In this case, I don't feel too disappointed at all. I think it's just recalibrated what I now know certain things will go for. You know, it's been a while since I've had AAX cymbals. I don't think I've ever had HHX cymbals, and I clearly thought they were worth a little bit more than maybe they are. Although that said, I've definitely sold AAXs for more than that before, but you know, it is what it is. It's only worth what somebody will give you for it. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and there's lots of great stuff coming up on the channel. I've got an incredible Mapex kit you may have seen on a short recently. That's upstairs. I can't wait for that. And then I've got this whole rolling project going on, which is an absolute bloody nightmare. So do subscribe and let me know in the comments what you thought of this one. I'm always looking for stuff. If you have any drums that you're thinking about getting rid of that are interesting, then do let me know, particularly if you're in the UK, and you know, message me on Instagram or whatever at Harry Weston C. It's been great to see many of you doing that anyway. I've really, you know, really appreciate when people message me. It's great. It's like a very personal thing that people are enjoying the content, so I really do appreciate that. But yeah, it'd be great to get the old subs up a little bit more. That'd be great. Thank you so much for watching, guys, as always, and I will see you again on the channel before too long. Have a great day, and I'm going to go to London.